Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about the state of Pennsylvania in the 2024 presidential race, and now it really is going more and more towards Kamala Harris. As the election approaches, it's now only 24 days away. She is simply running away with the state of Pennsylvania. Now we have a new poll from the New York Times with Siena College. This is an A+ rated pollster, apparently the best of the best, even though their polls are all over the place this election season. But they show Kamala Harris with a 4-point lead when you don't round out the results over Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. When you round, these are the numbers that they give us. It is 50% for Kamala Harris, 47% for Donald Trump, a 3-point lead when rounded. When you unround, Trump falls down to 46%, which gives her a very impressive 4-point lead in Pennsylvania. And we'll look at why this 4-point lead is so important. Not to mention Arizona, of course, while we have this poll up. Donald Trump really expanding his lead in Arizona to now a 6% margin. Very impressive for him. But we really have had this common consensus now for quite a while now, for months now, that Donald Trump will carry the state of Arizona as well as other Sunbelt states. But Pennsylvania is the important one here. Arizona only has 11 electoral votes. Pennsylvania has 19. In such a close race like this, that 8 more from Pennsylvania, 8 more, that really does matter a lot. So that 4-point lead is important because we always talk about, how much the polls overestimated Joe Biden in the 2020 election, right? Because when you look at 2020, he was expected to win by only 4.7%, and I say only because take that with a state like Wisconsin in 2020. Where Joe Biden was expected to win in the polls on Election Day by 8.4%. He only won it by 0.6%. So he was overestimated basically 8% almost. In the state of Wisconsin, while you head over to Pennsylvania again, he was expected to win by 4.7%. He won it by 1.2%. So he was only overestimated here by some 3.5%. So to see Kamala Harris with a 4-point lead unrounded in Pennsylvania, that's big, because I do want to preface this with saying that I don't think that Kamala Harris will be overestimated in the polls at all. I currently think that she will be underestimated in the polling. So even if she is overestimated as much as Joe Biden was in the 2020 election in Pennsylvania, she still wins. Again, Biden was overestimated by 3.5% in Pennsylvania when you do the math. Harris has a 4-point lead. Currently, she would still win the state by a very narrow margin. So Pennsylvania is hugely important, right? So that was just to show, how important this single poll is, considering that it is an A+ pollster. But now we have to talk about Pennsylvania, because the fact of the matter is she is running away with Pennsylvania. It's a very narrow lead, in of course, like the average, in the aggregate of polls. Which is expected, and again, I do think that Harris will outpace what polls are expecting. I really do, because pollsters are worried about underestimating the Trump factor once again and everything like that. So they are really boosting Trump's. They're giving an emphasis on Trump areas because they're, the polling industry is, going down right now in the dumps. So again, they're really trying to get it accurate this time, not underestimate Trump. Ultimately, I think that Harris is being underestimated now, just like 2022 the Democrats were. But when it comes to the average, you can see Harris has never let up once in the state of Pennsylvania. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Harris has kept a lead in Pennsylvania this entire race. Now, let's compare that to a state like North Carolina for a moment. We see in the beginning of the race, Trump had a pretty steady lead. Then Harris took the lead for a moment there for literally like 2 days. Then it was even. Then Trump took back the lead. Then it was even again. Trump took the lead. Harris took the lead by 0.2. Trump took the lead. Harris took the lead. Trump took the lead again. Harris took the lead. Trump took the lead. And he still has the lead, less than 1%. This is the case, and this is the most extreme case. But this is a case that's happening with many battleground states. Wisconsin, Nevada, especially Arizona, Georgia for sure. But what you notice is that it's not happening in Pennsylvania. And that's important. The fact that there is a common consensus in the polling numbers is important. The fact that Kamala Harris is a clear leader, is a clear favorite to win in Pennsylvania, that's important. Let's just take a look at the 538 forecast here. I don't know what they currently project, to be honest. They say that the presidential race is extremely narrow, but I assume they say, of course, that Harris is favored to win in Pennsylvania. You can see there she has a 52 to 48% chance of winning the state. But looking at Pennsylvania specifically, again, it is so incredibly important that Kamala Harris does have a lock on Pennsylvania. That's what I've been saying for a while. When you look at the electoral map, Pennsylvania proves to be extremely important. This is my forecast. That's the map. These are all the numbers. This is how I think that the election will go if it were held today or tomorrow or whatever. So Pennsylvania is critical, obviously, to Kamala Harris. Now, if Trump does win Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris actually still wins the election. However, she then has literally zero wiggle room. The only place that she could lose is Nebraska's 2nd district, resulting in her still winning the election. Even if she loses just Nevada on top of that, just 2 slight changes in my forecast, then she loses the election, 267 to 271. However, North Carolina is basically toss-up. I have it Harris plus 0.1% because I don't know. It's too hard to tell. There are too many factors. Mark Robinson being on the ballot, the state shifting left rapidly right now. There are so many factors to consider North Carolina. It's virtually toss-up. I think that Harris wins by, honestly, a few thousand votes. So look, I would not be surprised in the slightest if Trump wins North Carolina, because the odds really are 50-50 in my forecast right now, considering that margin of Harris plus 0.1. So if North Carolina does go red, which same amount of chance that it goes red as it goes blue, then she can't lose Pennsylvania. Then she has to hold Pennsylvania. So the fact that she, as I outlined, she is, she has this sort of lock on Pennsylvania right now, as she has had throughout this race, that's important because it is critical to her path to victory. Then if she holds Pennsylvania, she could even lose Nevada. Nevada could even go to Donald Trump, and it could still result in a 270 win for Harris and Walz. 270 is the minimum you need to win the presidency. That is just 2 electoral votes up against Trump and Vance. So North Carolina and Nevada could easily go Republican, but as long as she has Pennsylvania, she wins the election and she holds the other blue wall states. Now, what if Trump wins Pennsylvania? It's, obviously, it's important to Harris's victory, but if Trump is going to win the election, of course, I really think that, he might need Pennsylvania. However, that he doesn't need it. He could simply just run the Sun Belt, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and then flip Wisconsin. I think that Wisconsin will be closer than Pennsylvania, so that, of course, can absolutely happen. But if Pennsylvania does go red, it really opens the door for Donald Trump. If he wins the Sun Belt plus Pennsylvania, he's at 287, 17 more than he needs. Then he could even lose North Carolina, and he still wins the election. Or he could actually lose, he could even lose Nevada and Arizona, and he still wins the election, 270 to 268. So, Pennsylvania, everything weighs on Pennsylvania. Almost. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris still have paths to victory, especially Trump. Trump still has a path to victory. Without Pennsylvania, however, Pennsylvania is one of the most likely states to go to either candidate because of how split it is right now. So it's very good for Kamala Harris when she gets polls like this, which shows her from an A-plus pollster with a pretty steady lead in the most critical battleground state, Pennsylvania. And again, I think that she will win it. Joe Biden won it by 1.2% in 2020. And what we have seen is a massive leftward trend in the suburbs that dominate Pennsylvania elections. And we are seeing massive leftward trends across suburbs, or in suburbs across the nation. So if Pennsylvania can continue to trend to the left, then the Democrats are in for a really good result in Pennsylvania. So look at this. Chester County, Pennsylvania voted for Mitt Romney in 2012 by 0.2%. He lost the state. Obama won the state by 5%. Fast forward 4 years later, Chester County went from 0.2 for Romney to 10 for Hillary Clinton. Now, Donald Trump won the state. So while the state as a whole trended 7 points, or 6 points, I should say, towards the Republicans, Chester County became 10 points more Democratic. That you never see. Furthermore, it went from 10 points in 2016 to a stunning 17 points for Biden in 2020. Suburbs hate Donald Trump, and I believe that now more than ever, with someone like Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket for the Democrats, she will be able to really continue this trend, possibly, trend it more, at least Chester County, trend it more towards the Democrats than we have seen in past elections in 2016 and 2020. So that's the state of the race right now in Pennsylvania. Hugely important state. Kamala Harris definitely favored to win. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe down below. That helps out the channel a lot. Comment to let me know your thoughts on this topic, and I'll see you all next time.